Okay, so as Jason was saying, we are 8 minutes in past the hour. This is the Jupyter frontends weekly call. It is July 3rd, 2024. I think I lost the notes for the Hack and Nate note. Here they are. So it looks like we have 2 agenda items today. Jason, do you want to get off?
Sure. I can start, but we might want to have this discussion later, possibly off the record as well. We yesterday at Triage were talking about the JupyterLab 430 milestone, and I just dropped that into the chat. It's also in the meeting notes. There are currently 91 items, that's up from 89 yesterday, that are tagged to the 430 milestone. And if I remember right, we wanted to hit beta about a month from now, which means we need to get active in fixing, triaging, or reclassifying a lot of these items to make sure that they either go in or we set a new expectation. So how do folks feel about like a plan of attack? Should we take a look at these later? Should we do like a reassignment of things with no owners? How do people feel like it? We can also pick this up off the record as well if people feel more comfortable that way.
I would say it would be very helpful to have a look at them in the unrecorded part of the meeting. That said, in the recent past, we had been using these milestone labels to indicate that an issue will be considered if there is a pull request for this milestone. So someone set it to remember that this is a near-term priority, but not necessarily that it has to be taken up, just due to the nature of this open source project and how the contributions happen. And usually just by the time when we approach the release, we would re-tag all the issues which were tagged to the previous point release to the next one.
Okay. Any other thoughts about this process? All right. I think we've got a couple other people who are on the agenda. So why don't we come back to this like during the off the record portion then? All right. Who's next?
I think I'm next. Just wanted to announce that the votes are live in both the front ends Team Compass and the accessibility Team Compass to merge the accessibility meeting into this meeting. I don't want to take up too much time rehashing it because I think most of the folks here who would be voting are pretty aware and have been engaged somewhat in the discussion, but I'm happy to answer any questions folks have or have more discussion if anyone thinks it would be helpful. If you're in both councils, please vote in both votes. That's it from me.
Thanks, Haley. Darian?
Are you able to hear me okay? I don't know if my bandwidth is enough to have both video and audio, and I can turn off video if need be. Is everything okay?
You sound a little underwater, but not too bad. You're still audible.
Okay, I'll do my best. Maybe I'll turn.
You sound slightly worse than your average AirPods user.
Let's see. is not my bandwidth, is it? Okay, good to know. Anyway, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I moved the PR that I have open for a little while. And I made some changes to it yesterday to make it not modify the testing package because I thought I needed that to test external kernels, but really it was only saving me a few lines and it was modifying 2 packages. So I reverted that, but I changed the app utils session context to include a test that brings in a sample dummy kernel. It's an external kernel connection file that the Jupyter server can pick up, even though it's a kernel whose lifecycle it's not managing. This is just a feature that exists in Jupyter server. But the side effect of this feature is that in JupyterLab, if you have more kernels than sessions, because some of the kernels don't have any sessions associated with them, they'll never show up in the change kernel file. And now they will. And I've tried to minimize everything's backward compatible, which I think at some point we should make a backward incompatible version of this. Yeah, so I was hoping I could get is on it so that we could merge it. It's on the 4.3 milestone, so I'm sure we're getting there. And I would happily do a trade, a couple PRs that I'm happy to review and stuff because I know we're short on sort of thing. And that was it for me.
Okay, I think that concludes the agenda for the on the record portion of the meeting. So I'm going to stop the recording and we'll move on to the off the record part of the meeting.